Versatile Mage. Chapter 376. Killing the Snake. West Lake was already chilly in autumn. The surface of the water was cold and shiny. In the past, the lake used to be crowded with tourists or aged civilians, but it was now completely deserted. First, everyone was terrified by the plague, so most people preferred to stay indoors if they could. Everyone was scared of catching the plague. Second, every entrance to the lake was sealed off. Members of the public were not permitted to get close to the water or the shores. The lake was so huge that it felt like a sea. Along the lengthy Sioux Causeway of West Lake, the trees slightly swayed as the breeze swept past. At night, they looked like women with astonishing physiques tidying up hair they had just washed. On the causeway, Councilman Zhu Meng and the head of the Royal Guards Wu Pingjing were standing at the edge, facing the city. The gaze crossed the lake and saw the skyscrapers opposite the water. The reflection of a variety of buildings could be seen on the lake. The city was situated beside the lake, and the lake reflected the famous city. It was a spectacular view. Dark clouds drifted in the night sky. The faint glow of the moon outlined the shapes of the clouds. The spotlights above some skyscrapers joined the fun and shone their light on the clouds too, making them look extraordinarily stunning as they hung in the sky above the developed city. The unique appearance was visible on the surface of the lake as well. Suddenly, a blue-black mist appeared close to the colorful clouds. The faint mist loomed over the land. The night sky turned slightly dim, but a while later, the mist became extremely thick, completely shrouding the moonlight. Even the colorful lights from the city were completely sucked in. A great darkness swept across the sky. The pitch-black mist floated above Hangzhou City and slowly approached the deserted West Lake. On the causeway, Councilman Zhu Meng, Wu Pingjing, Councilman Luo Mian, Li Jin, Tang Zhong, Tang Yu, Mo Fan, Li Tian, Leng Qing, and the others raised their heads, staring at the black mist looming over the lake. So this is how he appeared and disappeared in the busy city out of nowhere. Leng Qing said calmly. Leng Qing was a woman who was both cold and alluring at the same time. She was also little Loli's sister. It was Mo Fan's first time meeting the eldest senior sister of the Clearski Hunter Agency. To his surprise, Leng Qing was a vice elder of the Magic Court, possessing incredible power and status. He's coming. A smile surfaced on Tang Yu's face. As she thought, when she blew the pipe made of his snake scales, he would show up regardless of where she was. He had returned. Even though he had not fully recovered from the ecdysis, he still showed up. The blue-black mist was now at the center of the lake. Suddenly, a gigantic, long shadow fell into the water, like a black lightning bolt striking the lake. As the giant snake disappeared into the water, a great wave splashed across the lake. The water droplets in the air poured down like rain. The tide spread from the center of the lake toward the causeway, almost washing over it. The crowd on the causeway stared with their eyes open wide. Many of them were seeing the true appearance of the black totem snake for the first time. It took some time for the water to return to calm. The black totem snake rose from the water, revealing his head and neck as he swam toward the causeway. Despite only showing a small part of his body, it felt like a giant cruise ship was moving towards them. "Big guy, are you done with your ecdysis?" yelled Tang Yu as she looked at the black totem snake in the lake. The black totem snake slowly approached the causeway. His neck and head were significantly taller than the land. His lantern eyes stared down at the people on the causeway. Even though he was only looking at Tang Yu, everyone felt like he was looking right at them. The ecdysis is still not done yet. Councilman Luo Mian could easily tell from a single glance. If the black totem snake had finished the ecdysis, the patterns on his body would become very obvious. It would not be as faint as they currently were. Besides, his presence was not as intimidating as it usually was. Councilman Luo Mian could even tell it was feeling weak. Councilman Zhu Meng turned around and glanced at Councilman Luo Mian. Councilman Luo Mian nodded. His eyes flickered with a menacing look. Councilman Zhu Meng slowly raised his right arm and clenched his fist. It was the gesture assigned to send a signal to his men. As soon as Zhu Meng sent the signal, countless figures leapt out from the causeway. They were extremely well trained, hidden at different spots along the path. After Zhu Meng gave the order, it only took them a few seconds to appear on the causeway. Those who were leading the groups were wearing the outfit of royal guards and were easily identifiable. They turned out to be Councilman Zhu Meng's personal army. As for the rest of the people, most of them were wearing outfits of the magic court. The color of their outfits clearly implied that they were under Councilman Luo Mian. Usually, judges of the magic court would go to different places to carry out the missions assigned to them. It was definitely the first time they had all gathered together. "Take him down," yelled Councilman Zhu Meng. "Activate the lightning punishment formation. We can't let him escape," ordered Councilman Luo Mian with a loud voice. The change of events had taken place too quickly. It took Tang Jung, Mo Fan, Li Qian, Tang Yu, and Leng Qing by surprise. Tang Yu's eyes were filled with disbelief when she saw the magicians appearing on the causeway. "What are you doing?" yelled Tang Yu. The two councilmen had never mentioned these people who were hiding in the dark. It was impossible to believe that they were not planning something else by having so many advanced magicians here. "Tang Yu, you've done great. We will take over from here," Councilman Luo Mian said with a smile, fondling his goatee. "The threat must be eliminated. Once he's dead, the plague will be gone, too. Today would be the day of death for this totem snake who had brought them the disaster." Tang Yu was thunderstruck. She never thought the two councilmen would team up to lie to her. Councilman Luo Mian had always been opposing Councilman Zhu Meng to protect the totem beast. Chapter End. Versatile Mage. Chapter 377. Suppress the Snake, the Lightning Punishment. Mo Fan stared at the causeway in astonishment. He glanced at the huge number of royal guards and judges of the magic court. Each of their auras was significantly stronger than his. Normally, it was rare to see one or two advanced magicians. Who knew they would see two groups of them here? The scene was very spectacular, something that had never taken place before. The black totem snake, who revealed his giant head above the lake, sensed the hostility from the humans on the causeway. He opened his cave-like mouth and blew a strong wind. The powerful gust destroyed the lines of willows on the causeway. The leaves drifted in the wind, and sprays of water splashed upon the land. It felt like a hurricane had just swept past the place. "Activate the lightning punishment," demanded Councilman Luo Mian with a loud voice once again. Suddenly, a strong lightning energy rumbled in the sky above. Mo Fan raised his head and saw giant purple lightning bolts flashing above the dark clouds. Countless lightning stars were connecting together at a rapid pace. It looked like the trailing paths of meteors intertwining with one another, resulting in stunning star patterns. The star patterns stacked on top of one another, forming a spectacular star constellation. The star constellation stood out in the dark sky with clear vertices. It was extremely three-dimensional and lively. The star constellation symbolized the casting of an advanced magic. Mo Fan initially thought that the casting of that spell, containing overwhelming lightning energy, had ended, but little did he know, it was only the tip of an iceberg. As the clouds scattered, Mo Fan saw 6 more star constellations formed with 243 stars each, close to the first one he had seen. 7 stars were called a nebula, the symbol of a basic spell. 49 stars formed 7 nebulas, illustrating a star pattern that symbolized an intermediate magic. 243 stars formed 49 nebulas, which would then form 7 new star patterns. The end product was a star constellation, an advanced magic. Currently, there were 7 star constellations in the sky. Each alone was enough to amaze the crowd below. As they were connected together in the night sky above the lake, they constructed an astonishing structure with the stars. A star palace. The star palace symbolized the super level. Its brilliance was unmatched in the sky above the city. It blazed fabulously in the middle of the darkness, lording over the modern city below. Mo Fan was dumbfounded. Even the star patterns made of 49 stars, which he was extremely familiar with, were enough to produce powerful spells. How destructive would the force of this spell produced by the Star Palace in the sky be? The purple sky palace was so huge that it looked extremely close. As the star constellations were fully connected together, the overwhelming lightning energy clumped together into stormy clouds. The astounding lightning magic began to descend. The spell consisted of 9 heavenly halberds made of lightning. They were formed by countless lightning arcs piercing through the layers of cloud. Their length and width were like huge pillars supporting the sky. A stunning purple, from the eye-catching lightning halberds. A deafening blast took place, as if the sky were shattered into pieces. The powerful lightning struck fiercely from the sky and penetrated the lake in a straight line. Over in the city, the pedestrians and the residents admiring the view of West Lake on the tall buildings were immediately fixated by the purple flash in the sky. As the lightning halberds descended, their flashy appearance was fully presented to the people. Spectacular, marvelous, the lightning energy they contained was strong enough to shudder heaven and earth. Even though the world was full of magic, demon beasts, and mysterious energy, many people still found the view absolutely unbelievable as they witnessed this level of magic up close. Is that really magic? Such a horrifying lightning. It feels like a punishment given by God to the mundane world. What is going on at West Lake? Where did the lightning halberds come from? Many people had seen the lightning halberds, regardless of which part of the city they were from. The halberds had torn the dark sky apart. It felt like some energy from the heavenly realm had accidentally fallen to the earth. The 9 lightning halberds dropped from the sky and formed a formation with the shape of an enneagram. They stood firmly above the lake like pillars, surrounding the skyscraping snake. They were like giant purple electric pillars, with dense lightning chains spreading across one another. Lightning sparkled fiercely between the pillars. Lightning, forks, chains. Mo Fan's vision was inundated with the shocking purple from the lightning energy unleashing from the halberds. The lightning halberds stood firmly. The skyscraping snake furiously stirred up massive waves after learning that he was being suppressed in the center. He even slammed his body into the halberd to break the lightning chains. However, the lightning halberds were solid as rocks. Each time the skyscraping snake slammed into the halberds, the formation would return the favor by whipping the skyscraping snake with the lightning chains. The black totem snake was like a giant python that had fallen into a trap. He struggled violently, but he only ended up injured due to the thorns in the trap. He uttered deafening cries of pain which echoed throughout the entire city. Oh my God, am I having a nightmare? Snake, it's a snake. A gigantic snake. The skyscraping snake, it's the same snake that appeared in the city. Holy cow, it really exists. It's here right in West Lake. A great crowd had gathered near the shore, far away from the center of the lake. As a matter of fact, both the lightning halberds and the skyscraping snake were extremely far away, but due to their massive size, they could still clearly see them in the darkness. The purple lightning brightly illuminated the lake, and the terrifying body of the skyscraping snake. The city burst into an uproar. Even though West Lake was sealed off to the public, there were gaps through which the people could still see the Sioux Causeway. If it were just a normal battle, it would be hidden in the darkness. However, the scale of the battle was too huge and stunning. Everyone could clearly see it from far away. The astonishment on their faces had reached the limit. The towering lightning halberds stood over the vast lake. The skyscraping snake, which had left a scar in the people's hearts, was currently being suppressed in the middle of the lake right beside the city. Chapter End. Versatile Mage. Chapter 378. The Angry Crowd, Kill the Snake. This. Mo Fan could not believe what he saw. Lightning Punishment Formation. The Seal of 9 Laws. It's a lightning element super magic. Once it's fully established, its power is strong enough to trap a ruler-level demon beast. Councilman Luo Mian and Councilman Zhu Meng have long prepared for this. They have been planning to kill the black totem snake all along, said Leng King, who was standing beside him. The lightning struck the black totem snake like merciless whips. The black totem snake had just gotten rid of his most important layer of defense recently, thus he was experiencing tremendous pain. Each bolt of lightning left a deep wound on his body. He did not give up. He opened his mouth wide and bit one of the lightning halberds, trying to break it into pieces. However, the lightning turned out to be stronger, penetrating his throat and entering his esophagus. It electrified his inner organs and dealt a great blow to him. An ordinary commander-level demon beast would simply be shattered into pieces by the powerful blow. However, the skyscraping snake was still able to gather his strength and tore at the lightning halberd once again. In the end, the shock from the lightning paralyzed him, but he was reluctant to give up. He was infuriated like a tyrant, glaring at the two humans who were responsible. He wanted to escape from the formation just to swallow them into his stomach. He grew more savage as more wounds appeared on his body. He was utterly fearless, even if he was facing the extremely destructive lightning spell. He wanted to destroy everything, to destroy the lightning that dared to infuriate him. "Stop it now, I beg you please, stop it," Tang Yu pleaded desperately. Each time the black totem snake was struck by a lightning bolt, Tang Yu could sense her heart being struck by a great blow. Begging for mercy, Councilman Zhu Meng blurted out coldly. He glanced at the terrifying people in the distance who were gathering at the shores around the lake and pointed with his finger. A rather huge crowd had already gathered there. "Why are you doing this?" snapped Tang Yu. Councilman Zhu Meng was expressionless. He opened his mouth and uttered with a thunderous voice facing the busy city, "People of Hangzhou City, this is the snake beast that appeared before in the city. He is also the source of the plague. He is now residing in West Lake. Unfortunately, some people treated him as a god, thus insisting on protecting him. Today, I, Zhu Meng, have decided to eliminate him once and for all to prevent disasters like this from happening in the future. If you agree with me, please let me hear your voice." Zhu Meng's voice was extremely clear, as if it had spread to every little corner in the city. He had used some magic that Mo Fan had never seen before. On the other side of the lake, although the Su Causeway was quite a distance away from the shore where the crowd was, as the number of people increased, the crowd suddenly became rather obvious from the distance. Their faces were filled with astonishment, although most of them were still overwhelmed with fear of the unknown beast. The crowd consisted of students of magic schools, ordinary businessmen, old folks who were passing by, normal civilians, and quite a number of magicians who were pursuing justice. They could not believe such a gigantic beast had been residing so close to their city. If they had not seen it with their own eyes today, they would never have believed it to be the truth. The crowd was terrified and furious. They felt like someone had lied to them, someone who could not care less about their lives. "Kill him. We have to kill him. How could we possibly let something like that stay in West Lake? Kill him now. So he is the cause of the plague. He is a great threat to us." The voices of the crowd stacked upon one another, echoing across the lake loud and clear at the causeway. "No, that's not the truth. He's not the cause of the plague. He's actually the guardian of the city. You can't hurt him." Tang Yu screamed loudly on Su Causeway. However, her voice alone was no match against the voices of the crowd. Even if her pleading could be heard by the people, they would not show any hint of mercy. Their hearts were overwhelmed by fear and anger. Similar to Councilman Zhu Meng, they only wanted to drive the beast away from their city. The protests grew louder gradually. The black totem snake was covered all over with cuts and bruises. His unyielding gaze began to show a hint of fatigue. He was getting too weak. He was already suffering a punishment from the law of nature due to the ecdysis, and now he was trapped within the destructive lightning formation established by the humans. He no longer had the same spirit of trying to break free from the formation. The lightning bolts continued to strike him recklessly. He could hear the voices of the crowd coming from the shore. As a matter of fact, he was not too bothered. He endured the pain from the shock of the lightning and slowly turned his head around toward Tang Yu. Tang Yu was kneeling helplessly on the edge of the causeway. She seemed extremely tiny in comparison to the rage of the crowd. If it weren't for her, the black totem snake would never have left the safest hiding spot during his weakest period. He had existed for many centuries, thus he was surely more intelligent than humans. He had total trust in her, and yet, she had let him down. Seeing the bruises and wounds on the black totem snake's body, whose eyes displayed a hint of fatigue and disappointment, she felt like he was asking her, why had she let him down? Tang Yu was full of tears. There was nothing she could do. She was surrounded by magicians who were stronger than she was, and the shore was crowded with people demanding the death of the snake. What could she possibly do? Mo Fan clearly heard her sobs. Similarly, there was nothing Mo Fan could do. The people of the city were already trapped by the fear of the snake and the plague. Once they found the source of the plague, they would only follow their instincts. Councilman Zhu Meng was doing something that perfectly suited their requests. Mo Fan believed that he would soon obtain the support of the people of Hangzhou City. No one would care about the despair that one woman was currently suffering. "Careful, he's trying to barge out with brute force," yelled the head of the royal guards, Wu Pingjing. Mo Fan collected his thoughts and saw that the black totem snake, still being tortured tremendously by the lightning, was trying to poke his giant head out from the formation. The wild lightning bolts struck his head fiercely, and yet he continued to charge forward as if he were already numb. He extended his head as close as possible to the causeway. The judges of the magic court and the royal guards quickly backed off. Despite being trapped within the lightning punishment formation, the black totem snake was still very intimidating. As the people assumed that the black totem snake was desperately trying to break free with his last effort, he slowly moved his head toward Tang Yu, who was kneeling on the ground in despair. The snake gently hissed, poking his tongue out from his mouth. The tip of the tongue appeared in front of Tang Yu and gently fondled her face. Tang Yu was stunned. The tongue was extremely gentle, like a father trying to wipe the tears off her face. Tang Yu raised her head, glancing at the giant head. She stared into the snake's eyes, which had a gentle look despite the pain and torture he had suffered, before glancing at the tongue which had fondled her face gently. He was trying to comfort her. At that instant, Tang Yu completely broke down and burst out in tears. Chapter end. Versatile Mage. Chapter 379. Emergency Support. Mo Fan was stunned. He had heard many tales about the black totem snake from Tang Yu. The black totem snake was indeed looking after her, just like her senior. However, Mo Fan was shocked that the black totem snake would care about Tang Yu so much. Most demon beasts would have already lost the ability to think rationally after suffering from bruises and wounds and would go berserk. However, the black totem snake did not lose control of himself. In fact, he seemed rather lost when he saw Tang Yu bursting into tears. This was Mo Fan's first time sensing such emotion from the utterly terrifying gigantic snake. He was treating Tang Yu like his own child, not allowing her to suffer at all. He was scared to hear her crying, even though he was still enduring the pain from the super magic formation. "Do you believe it? Do you believe a totem beast like that is the source of the plague and the disaster?" said Mo Fan to eldest senior sister Leng Qing beside him. "Does me believing make any difference?" Leng Qing's voice was filled with a hint of unwillingness. As a matter of fact, she was more inclined toward the totem guardian's side. Unfortunately, the terrified people of the city wanted the black totem snake dead as soon as possible. The Su Causeway was crowded with advanced magicians. They were waiting for the black totem snake to become weaker, so they could flank him from all directions and eliminate the ruler-level demon beast. On the causeway, Councilman Zhu Meng and Councilman Luo Mian totally ignored the black totem snake's gentle behavior. They were waiting for the black totem snake to weaken. "Shall we attack now?" asked Councilman Zhu Meng impatiently. The West Fortress was under attack by a pack of white magic falcons, a grave threat to the city. Zhu Meng had no time to waste any further. He had to eliminate the black totem snake to get rid of the plague, then hold back the white magic falcons. "Don't We can't afford to underestimate the Black Totem Snake. If you withdraw the lightning punishment formation, more than half of your men would die in order to kill him. His power is still too much for us to handle even though he is currently going through ectasis. Councilman Luo Mian was more familiar with the Black Totem Snake than the others. Councilman Zhu Meng hesitated. He glanced at the head of the royal guards, Wu Pingjing, beside him. Wu Pingjing said with a nod, "Councilman, we can't rush it. Let's strike after the lightning punishment formation has tortured him a while longer." Councilman Zhu Meng lowered his hand and decided to wait it out. However, a brief moment later, the royal guard Li Jin hurriedly came up to Zhu Meng and blurted out without saluting, "Councilman, West Fortress is requesting backup." Councilman Zhu Meng frowned. He glanced at the Black Totem Snake, which was still trapped within the 9 lightning halberds, and said, "Give us some time, we need to kill the snake first." It's an emergency. A ruler-level demon beast had appeared among the white magic falcons. Our line of defense had crumbled due to the betrayal of the heavenly eagles. We totally lost our air power. Only advanced magicians are able to stop the army of white magic falcons. The fortress has summoned every advanced magician nearby, but it's still not enough to hold off the invasion of the white magic falcons. Without support, the demon beasts would soon appear in the sky above the city. "When that happens," said Li Jin, "is it really that serious?" Councilman Zhu Meng was stunned. Without the heavenly eagles, the soldiers guarding the fortress are totally useless. Said Li Jin. The elder of the magic court Li Tian glanced at Councilman Zhu Meng, who was hesitant after hearing the shocking news. "We can't afford to lose any time. Councilman, please bring the judges of the magic court and the royal guards to the front line at West Fortress at once." "No, we have to kill the beast first," stated Councilman Luo Mian with a loud tone all of a sudden. Zhu Meng was puzzled. The Black Totem Snake's endurance is shocking. We might have to wait until late at night before his stamina is depleted. It's better to attack him by then. If we attack him now, it will result in a great number of casualties. Without enough advanced magicians, we won't be able to provide enough support to the front line. Hangzhou will truly suffer a terrible disaster. The lightning punishment formation has the beast trapped. It will not be able to break free from the strongest entrapment spell among all super spells in just 1 or 2 days. We should focus on the invasion now, then kill the beast once the city is safe," said Elder Li Tian. Councilman Luo Mian pulled a long face. He glanced at the severely injured Black Totem Snake, and took another glance at Councilman Zhu Meng. Councilman Zhu Meng was the one who had authority over the magicians. The strength of his royal guards was astounding. Therefore, he was the person making the final decision. "Since we're running out of time, we should take the risk to kill the beast at once. With the royal guards here, he won't be able to resist much longer," said Councilman Luo Mian. "Wait." Councilman Zhu Meng raised his hand. "Zhu Meng, we have to kill him now to prevent any changes to the plan," said Luo Mian. "To the front line at once," ordered Councilman Zhu Meng sternly. "This." Luo Mian reacted strangely. "Head of the royal guards Wu Pingjing, listen up. Bring the royal guards to the front line of West Fortress at once. If I see a single white magic falcon trespassing into the safe zone, I'll hold you responsible," declared Councilman Zhu Meng firmly. "Affirmative." Wu Pingjing leapt into the air and flew into the sky above the causeway as 3 pairs of wings appeared on his back. Each wing was ample and long, fully extended. Each beat produced a gentle flow, pushing Wu Pingjing into the sky. 6 wings. This head of the royal guard's strength is a bit too terrifying. Mo Fan stared after Wu Pingjing, who was disappearing into the sky. Following Wu Pingjing's summon, the royal guards immediately rose into the sky after him. The causeway had lots of powerful magicians on station. They either cast a wind element advanced spell to summon wind wings on their backs, took out their wing equipment and adeptly flew into the sky, or summoned their flying mounts to soar into the sky. The royal guards who were holding their positions on the causeway moments ago had all flown into the distance. They quickly flew west, with Whooping Jing leading in front. The sight was rather spectacular, making those who had yet to possess any flying ability quite jealous. Speaking of which, how powerful exactly was the black totem snake that was being trapped within the lightning punishment formation? The causeway was crowded with many experts, and the black totem snake was already weakened due to the ecdysis and the lightning punishment formation. However, the two councilmen still assumed it was a great risk to kill it now. Either way, the black totem snake's life was spared for now. Mo Fan was about to walk over to Tang Yu when he saw Leng King glaring at Councilman Luo Mian, as if she were trying to peek into the cunning old man's mind. "Big sis, what's wrong?" asked Mo Fan. "I have a feeling that this entire incident isn't as simple as it looks," said Leng King grimly. Chapter End. Versatile Mage. Chapter 380. Vermin Spotted. Mo Fan was smart enough to know that Leng King was implying something. He lowered his voice and asked, "Big sis, do you know something? My people have access to some information, and I also spent some time investigating the identities of the first two corpses that were found after the snake appeared in the city. I didn't find anything useful, but someone seems very suspicious now." Leng King was fairly tall and was currently bearing a sharp gaze. Her aura was quite different from the girls with cold personalities. Luckily, she was Ling Ling's sister. Otherwise, Mo Fan would simply not approach a woman like her. "Big sis, are you suspicious about the plague?" Mo Fan noticed something from Leng King's tone. "Do you want to save the snake?" asked Leng King. Both Li Qian and Leng King were leaning towards the side of the totem guardians. They had already asked Mr. Lu, who was leading the medical team. He mentioned that even though the blood of the black totem snake was able to resist the virus, it was not enough to cure it. It implied that the black totem snake was not the true cause of the plague. Besides, White Town was severely impacted when the outbreak took place, but the black totem snake was staying at Westlake before. If he were the cause of the plague, the most serious outbreak would have happened to the people close to the lake instead. The elder of the magic court Li Qian and Leng King had both been investigating the incident. They had acquired some leads, but they were unable to sort out who their real targets were. "I do, but..." Mo Fan glanced at the dispirited Tang Yu sitting on the edge of the causeway. Mo Fan knew they did not have any convincing proof, but his instinct was telling him that the black totem snake was not evil. Mo Fan felt rather down, as he had never seen Tang Yu so helpless before. "My people have been allocated to West Fortress. I didn't have anyone to help. If you're willing to assist me, head to White Town at once and see if there's any trace of other demon beasts," said Leng King. "I thought someone had already investigated it. Would it make any difference?" said Mo Fan. White Town was the place of the outbreak, thus the government would have sent magic court people over. What could he possibly find there? If someone were purposely hiding the truth, or preventing people from finding the true cause, the government's efforts would have been in vain. "I've already asked Lingaling to go to White Town. You will regroup with her there. Remember, we don't have much time. Once the white magic falcons are driven back, Zhu Meng would surely come and kill the black totem snake straight away. There's nothing we could do once the beast is dead, and it would be even harder to discover the truth," said Leng King sternly. "So Big Sis was already investigating it. Don't worry, if there is indeed something fishy at White Town, I promise I'll find it," declared Mo Fan, tapping his chest. "Great, we'll move separately. Please find the truth before they return," said Leng King. "I've no clue where to start from. What shall I do first?" blurted out Mo Fan. "I've already sent the information to Lingaling. She will give you the debrief." "Fine." Following Leng King's instructions, Mo Fan arrived at White Town after dark. White Town was in a complete lockdown. Either entering or leaving the town was incredibly troublesome, very different from the situation a few days ago. As Mo Fan was troubled trying to find a way to sneak into the town, he received a call from Lingaling, who urged him to regroup with her at the main entrance. As Mo Fan made his way toward the entrance that was heavily guarded, he saw Lingling wearing a black dress with flowers on it. Standing in a little corner, her watery eyes were staring at Mo Fan, who had arrived late. Her extremely eye-catching double ponytails increased her charm tremendously. Mo Fan could not help but feel a great urge to hug her and rub her cheeks. "I knew you wouldn't die so easily," Lingling said as usual. She glanced at Mo Fan for a while before a smile surfaced on her face. "You're getting prettier." Mo Fan reached out his hand and pinched her cheek. Lingling immediately twisted her lips. She hated someone pinching her cheeks the most. The girl who was like a little noble princess a moment ago instantly turned into a raging wildcat, reaching out her claws to scratch Mo Fan, as if she were determined to kill him at the cost of her own life. Mo Fan grabbed Lingling's head with his hand, preventing her arms and legs from reaching him. He chuckled and said, "All right, time to focus on the real business. Humph, if you dare pinch me again, I'll chop your hands off." Lingling squawked like a fierce cub. "Your sister mentioned that she had given you some information. What was it?" asked Mo Fan. I was actually in charge of the operation, too. Around 2 months ago, she told me to look into a batch of blood serums being transferred around by the government. The blood serums were supplied to the rest stations, lines of defense, and fortresses in Zhejiang province. You do know that there are endless casualties from fighting demon beasts. Most hunters use a fifth of their income to buy blood serums to prevent themselves from dying from excessive loss of blood in the wild. The rest stations, lines of defense, and fortresses are places that require a huge amount of blood serums, too. As usual, Lingling opened her mini laptop and placed it on her legs. The blood serums were very common yet expensive medical supplies. They were normally used as blood supplies. Magicians with healing magic were less common than other elements. The healers could not possibly look after every injured person. Therefore, the serums invented by the healers were extremely important. Among them, the blood serums had the highest demand. After consuming a blood serum, a magician's ability to produce new blood was 10 times stronger. Most external wounds could be treated in a short period of time by consuming the blood serum and wrapping them up in bandages, assuming the wounds were not infected. The blood serums were rather costly. Magicians who spend most of their time fighting in the wild would spend a part of their income on them. Thus the providers of blood serums could easily make a huge profit off them. "What about the blood serums?" asked Mo Fan. The blood serums are refined using a special type of blood obtained from demon beasts. The entire process is supposed to be under strict monitoring, and the products have to pass several tests before they are distributed to the rest stations, the military, or sold to the hunters or traders. My sister found out that someone tried to produce blood serums using a different ingredient to replace the special blood, which ended up producing a batch of defective blood serum, said Lingling. "Black-hearted vendors," said Mo Fan in a surprised tone. "The Magic Association is in charge of the blood serums, and the government would also have a supply of them. It would be a lot easier if only the sellers were involved," said Lingling. "Ha!" Mo Fan raised his brows. "Looks like we've got vermin in the government and the Magic Association, too." Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.